basement of La Penta. It's WICR.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sports Vault. Second segment rolling around, and I thought, Rob, why not make people's days better? Isn't that what we're here for? We're here to entertain, to make people's day better, to inspire in some cases. And is there anyone who inspires more, Rob, than the man, the myth, the legend, LeBron James?
I'm sending you to Cleveland.
Really?
I'm sending you to Cleveland.
I want to go to
Cleveland. You are a New Yorker. You root for the New York Knicks jersey, Joe.
Rob, do not ever put that disgusting image in my face. My goodness. Root for the Knicks?
I cannot stand LeBron James. Nah, he's a good guy. He scores points. I just hate the Cavs, though.
He did something cool the other day, Rob. You know what he did?
Reached the 25. 12. I'm about to go, wow.
The youngest player ever to reach the 25,000 mark. Pretty impressive.
Too bad he won't pass it. He won't pass Karl Malone.
Whoa.
He will not pass Karl Malone.
I don't know. Well, here's the thing I think we got to ask is we look at LeBron and we look at all the minutes that he's played, all the wear and tear that's been put on him. The amount, and one thing he's had to do that not a lot of those other players had to do was carry a bad, terrible team for so long. Is that going to wear down at the back end of his career?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
I see it, Joe. Already, we saw the injection in the preseason in the back. You can tell now the body's starting to break down a little bit.
And, well, here's the thing. I don't think that there's been a point over the last 5 years where LeBron has been 100% healthy. I think that there's that's not true. Maybe not all 5. But I think for the vast majority of it, there's always been a little ning or dick. I don't think anything more so than what we saw at the beginning of last year where he was really hurting. I mean, he was really icing up every single game. He needed those 2 weeks off desperately, and then we saw how big a difference it made towards the second half stretch of the season. But, I mean, you just look at how quick it's been, the rise, and that's the thing. Everyone is always in a mood to debate where LeBron ranks around the all-timers. But, I mean, look, there's a reason he's the youngest player ever to reach that. And here's the thing I want to ask you, and I think it's the interesting thing, is when I think LeBron James, it's not scoring is the first thing that comes to mind for me. It's his ability to assist. It's his ability to be a floor general. It's his versatility in doing everything. And we know LeBron is more than willing and even happier sometimes to set up his teammates than him scoring, than him doing the work. But and I think that's why it's so telling of how good he is that he's the fastest ever reached that scoring rank because again, LeBron is more Magic than he is Michael at the end of the day.
Imagine, Joe, he never went to Miami. He probably would have broken this record a couple years back with all the scoring he was originally doing in Cleveland.
But that's the even more interesting too is how much more of a wear and tear would that have put on him if he didn't go to Miami. And that's the thing too is he did play a lot of minutes. I mean, especially in the finals they lost to the Spurs the second time after they beat them. It was ridiculous. I mean, Eric Spoelstra literally didn't give him rest.
No.
I was just like, at times I screamed at the TV, like, LeBron needs to rest. I think that, it's funny, obviously we've still got a lot of time, but I think if you look at it when LeBron's career is said and done, seeing how he finishes out, I think that finals where they lost to the Spurs with the Heat, I think that could be a big, big thing on the overall impact of his career. Because you look at all those games, he did not rest. I mean, I don't have the numbers up with me, but I'm sure if you look at them, the amount of rest LeBron got is extraordinarily small. I think that could be a big thing, but I mean, obviously LeBron, it's a big mark. The Cleveland Cavaliers are off to a 3-1 start. They've looked very sharp out of the gate, as have a lot of teams. Look, the Pistons are 3-0, the Raptors 3-0, the Hawks 3-1, the Bulls 3-1. It's too early to really sink your teeth into anything. But when I look at the Cavs, and I've seen almost every game they played so far, Rob, I look at them and I kind of say, look, year 1 was about building the identity, building the chemistry. Year 2 is going to play out a lot like it did in Miami. The system is built. The goal is there. It's just go out there, play your game, and make it to the NBA Finals. I think that's what's going to happen. I know you disagree to a point, but I think that the identity has been established.
One thing I'm liking coming into this year, we're seeing more of an involvement. What LeBron had said at the start of the season.
Yes.
I'm going to feed it to Kevin Love. I want Kevin to start taking over in games. Kevin Love has been doing a lot of that, Joe. I mean, he's averaging about 19 points a game with like 14 rebounds. Getting his numbers back up there. Mo Williams has really stepped it up at point guard. I mean, this Cavaliers team, they have the assets around them. They just need Kyrie Irving, and they'll be a terrific team once Kyrie Irving's back.
I don't think that there's any question about it. Mo Williams is going to be... It's funny, you look at the Golden State Warriors, I thought the best year that the Warriors had was Mark Jackson's second year when they had Jared Jack as kind of the change of pace point guard between Steph and Curry. After that, the Warriors fell off a little bit because Jared Jack then he signed with Cleveland. But then what happens? They bring in Sean Livingston, Stephen Curry, the dynamic duo right there. Mm-hmm. They win a title. Having a good change of pace point guard makes a world of difference. Even the Heat, when the Heat drafted Norris Cole and they could go from Mario Chalmers to Norris Cole, they didn't really skip that much of a beat on offense. I think it's the same thing for the Cavs this year. You know what you're going to get out of Kyrie Irving. Then when you can switch to a dependable player like a Mo Williams, I think it's a huge, huge plus. But there's been another guard who's been off to a pretty good start, Rob. Stephen Curry. The guy's been pretty good. He's had 148 points through the first 4 games of the season. It's the best start in NBA history since Michael Jordan in the 1991-92 season, where he scored 156. I mean, man, as if the Warriors weren't coming into the season trying to make a big enough statement, Curry has not skipped a beat. He's unstoppable.
Yeah, he's just whooping it out there. He is dropping points, Joe. He is a god right now. He is looking so godly. He's looking like his MVP self from last year. There's no stopping this guy. We look at the start of his career with the injuries and where he's come so far, winning MVP, winning an NBA championship, where he is now. He's going to be dominating for the years to come, next couple of years.
I mean, we kind of did our predictions, and we both didn't think that the Warriors were going to repeat this year. But I don't know. I mean, the tone that the Warriors, and Steph Curry in particular, is setting early, I don't know. Are you starting to rethink it a little bit? Again, it's super early, but it's got to mean something, the fact that Steph Curry has come out this way.
No, I haven't changed my mind. I still don't think the Warriors are going to the finals.
The only reason I am... Well, I mean, look, I just think... Would you say the Warriors have the best roster in the Western Conference?
I would argue it with
the Spurs?
With the Spurs and the Clippers as well.
I haven't gotten a great look at the Spurs yet to start the season. I really do want to watch LaMarcus Aldridge because I really think what Greg Popovich does running the offense through him is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
The thing with the Spurs, though, you have to look at, too, Kawhi Leonard's actually shooting more. We're seeing him put up more points. That's another great evaluation to get into for this year.
Well, Leonard is one of those players where year by year he's adding more and more pieces to his game. He is an outstanding young player. I mean, he has such a complete game on both ends of the floor. Really, really like the work that he puts into it. But I think we look now and we look back to the Warriors, and I just think they have depth that is just so hard to match. I mean, when you have a guy, the guys coming, I mean, look at last year, Andre Iguodala coming off the bench. Who else has that? Who else has that? I mean, that is very difficult to counter, but it's been a very impressive start so far for the Warriors. It's been a very impressive start for LeBron James. The Knicks are the final talking point. I haven't watched much of the Knicks so far because I've been too busy watching Cleveland Cavalier basketball because, I kind of like watching great stuff. What have you seen from the Knicks so far?
Well, after 4 years, I could finally agree with you that Carmelo Anthony is the worst thing to happen to the New York Knicks, Joe.
I'm surprised it took a long time, but I'm glad you finally see the light.
Finally hit me in the head. He cannot shoot the ball. How do you come out after beating Washington? You drop 37. I think he shot 11 for 17 in that game. And then yesterday, you start off 2 for 13 from the field. Just embarrassing. But, Joe, Porzingis, man... He's going to be good. That kid is going to be good.
I like his mentality. I didn't know what kind of player he would be because, look, the type of basketball outside of the NBA, I don't care where you are. It's suspect everywhere. If you're not in the NBA and you're not playing, it's suspect basketball. But back to Carmelo for a minute. I mean, look, that's That's always been the biggest thing for me. Is he is as extremely gifted a scorer as we've seen in the NBA. But it's not smart basketball. If you're a player like Carmelo, you can't be taking 30 shots a game and making 10 of them. You disrupt the flow of the offense. You disrupt the getting back on defense. Everything matters in basketball. Every possession, every dribble that you take, and that's the big thing that separates the superstars like LeBron from a guy who wants to be a superstar like Carmelo. It's the head game. That's the biggest thing for me. It's not the skill. I think Carmelo is just as much skill as anybody. It's the head game with him. He's never had it. I'm sorry. He never has and he never will.
Making me feel bad as a Knicks fan.
Well, Rob, I don't want to make you
Gonna make me
feel
go
bad.
home and cry now.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna go sit in my bed and just think of how Melo ruined my dreams.
Well, let's see if we can make Rob not cry in our next segment when we bring out the football stuff.
Oh, no, no.
Rob, I can't wait.
Don't even do that.
I can't wait. We're going to have the patented word discovered on the show this year. Rob, say it before we go into the break.
Terribly awful.
Terribly awful. Just tremendously awful.
Oh, my.
You mess up your own catchphrase. What an embarrassing moment before we go into
Are
a
you
break.
kidding me?
Man, you screw up your own catchphrase. We'll get over it and we'll be right back.